It just seems unfair that even though, as I said, education seems to be the great equalizer, right now I just feel it feels so unequal for me. I am 27 years old and I still have 16 years to pay my loans. And this means that I'm gonna end up finishing paying my loans when I'm 42 years old. So that's not really when people wanna get their starter home.
For generations, America has been a place where you're given the right to work your way up to a richer, better, and more fulfilling life. A place where no matter your circumstances, you can come out on top as long as you work hard to obtain it. Buying your dream home, the car you always wanted, the trip you had planned for years, and raising your kids would all be possible in this great nation. This way of living gave way to the ideology we know as the American dream.
Today, tomorrow, and into the next century, our nation is the enduring dream of every immigrant who ever set foot on these shores and the millions still struggling to be free. This nation, this idea called America, was and always will be a new world, our new world.
For much of the 20th century, there existed the belief that through hard work, anyone can achieve the American dream and would be able to lift themselves and their families out of poverty or to better living conditions. By more people becoming successful, it has a direct effect on the country's economy. The more people earn, the more money they spend, creating a cycle. But over the last several decades, things have changed.
One of the closing questions I was asked is, what is the single most important thing the United States can do to maintain its security edge over the next 20 years? The answer to me was simple: have the best educated population in the world. It's in our national interest.
The importance a college education plays nowadays is embedded in millions of Americans from a young age. Many have been raised with the idea that the key to success is attending high school and getting the best possible grades, allowing you the chance to get into the best colleges. And by getting this college education, you'll be able to obtain anything you like in life and be on the road to success.
This country gave us a chance at a good education. This country has always made a commitment to put a good education within the reach of everybody who's willing to work for it. That's what makes us special. That's the kind of investment in our own people that helped us lead the world in business and science and technology and medicine. That's what made us an economic superpower.
We now see a generation of people whose primary goal in life is to attend college. Otherwise, they're heading down a path that society deems as a failure. Education has played a major role in ensuring that you have opportunities to pursue your personal dreams and has helped many break the cycle of poverty. So it comes as no surprise how euphoric the moment is when you're accepted into a good university. It brings you one step closer to achieving the American dream.
And that means students have to take out more loans. It's now to the point where the average student who borrows to pay for college graduates with about $25,000 worth of debt. $25,000. And Americans now owe more for their student loans than they do on their credit cards.
Student loans have become a major issue in the United States. As of 2021, there are 43 million Americans who are struggling with student loan debt. That's 1 in 8 Americans who owe a collective $1.75 trillion in private and federal student loans, with the average US household with student debt owing over $57,000 and 58% of all student loans belonging to women. Now, the debt varies. These are the average costs for a bachelor's degree, an MBA, law school, veterinary school, pharmacy school, medical school, and dental school. These high education prices is what made the US student debt more than the rest of the world's combined. In 1840, Harvard University students were the first to receive loan offers. At the time, the annual tuition at Harvard was $75. During these times, majority of the students receiving a higher education were from families who were well off. In 1944, President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed the GI Bill, or the Servicemen's Readjustment Act. This helped World War II veterans get money to go to college or vocation school for free, or at least made it affordable. As a result, 3 years later, in 1947, almost 49% of all college admissions were veterans. Unlike ever before, the GI Bill had opened the doors of higher education to the working class. Loans were being guaranteed by the government for the veterans who borrowed to purchase a business, home, or farm. This caused an exodus from major cities to homes in suburbia. Then, in 1957, the Soviet Union launched the satellite Sputnik into orbit, causing a nation to wake up. Fearing that the US may be falling behind, President Dwight Eisenhower signed a bill called National Defense Education Act in 1958. This bill allows students in mathematics, science, engineering, or foreign languages to borrow up to $1,000 a year. This allowed more people to attend college, but as the demand increased, so did the cost. By the 1970s, college tuition and fees climbed as much or more than the inflation rate. Federal grants were being replaced by private loans as the main source for money, primarily affecting the poor and middle-class students. College tuition and fees in 2021 compared to 1977 are over 1,400% higher. Getting a bachelor's degree in 1985 cost an average of $5,500. Now, as of 2019, that same bachelor's degree will cost you over $28,000. America's combined outstanding balance on student loans through the years 2010 through 2019 grew from $760 billion to $1.5 trillion. It's grown faster than the debt accumulated for credit cards and auto loans. Although loans have allowed more people to obtain a college education, it has come with a heavy price tag that no college student could have anticipated.
In debt. 43 million borrowers in this country owe about $1.5 trillion in federal student loan debt.
Having debt as large as the ones you're left with after attending college has a toll on other aspects of your life. The cost of living has drastically changed over the years, and although wages have risen, the gains are not enough to keep up with the curving living costs. Home prices, rent, and college expenses have all escalated much quicker than the income has, making the debt you're left with after college a major disadvantage to anyone.
Hi, my name is Allie Truitt. I have around $56,000 in student loan debt. This has so negatively affected my credit that I'm unable to buy a home for my family and unable to find an affordable car, payments, anything. I can't get a decent loan. I can't get a decent credit card. I was turned down for rentals recently.
Unlike tuition, which grew 2.6% yearly, wages between the same years had an annual growth of only 0.3%. This combination is exactly what is keeping many students drowning in debt by the time they graduate. Instead of higher education being the gateway to a better financial future, it now has become a major burden. The increasing number of debt students have accumulated is affecting major life decisions, like buying a home. In 2019, Unison found that 83% of non-homeowners blame student loan debt as the reason for not owning a home. The average age of a homebuyer has jumped to 44, whereas in 1981, it was between the ages of 25 and 34. Now you question, can I afford to take on a mortgage along with my student loan debt? The simple but harsh truth is no. That vision that they had for their future continues to move further and further away. And where does this leave the other memorable moments you had planned for the future, like marriage, having kids, and starting a family? In 2021, a survey of 1,000 adults ages 33 to 40 was conducted to find out what effects their debt had on other aspects of their life. And it showed that 12% postponed having children due to their massive debt, and 10% put off getting married anytime soon. Many are delaying their next steps in life due to money. And I don't blame them. Having children is fucking expensive. The average family will spend over $13,000 a year per child. Now factor in retirement savings, taxes, rent, or a mortgage payment, a car payment, and other life necessities. And it becomes very clear why more and more people are holding off on having kids. It's a decision that many have come to adopt. And despite the success rate of marriage potentially being a warning sign that you shouldn't break the bank on your dream wedding, they're both still considered major milestones for many in life. But unfortunately, they both come at a steep price. The average engagement ring price falls between $5,000 through $6,000. A wedding dress will fall between $1,000 to $1,500. And to top it all off, the average wedding cost in 2021 was $22,500. These high prices are exactly why students are delaying many aspects of their life now more than ever before. And it's having an effect that goes beyond homeowning, marriage, and children. So you're a student who just graduated. Now it's time to apply for work to get your life going in the direction you've always imagined. Everything seems fine until you can't land a job. Or maybe you do have a job, but you're not getting paid what you had hoped for. Even worse, you suddenly realize while working at your dream job, it isn't at all what you had envisioned, and you want out. This is the harsh but common reality many students face. What makes it worse is the weight of the debt they now carry.
So originally the plan was to major in forensic science, master's degree in forensic psychology. Psych, I got to school, realized that I suck at chemistry. Really need chemistry if you're gonna be a biology, forensic science, you know, apparently. Didn't think that through. Here I am now. My payments start next month and I'm freaking out about it. And it's kind of just like one of those things where it's like, if something's super overwhelming and every single time you think about it, you cry your eyes out, and like every time someone brings it up and start freaking out, you do the only thing that you know will make you not cry, which is ignoring it.
The mental health of young adults in America is taking a huge toll due to the living nightmare that is student debt. So it comes to no surprise that 90% of students have experienced significant anxiety due to it, and 53% have experienced depression. Major reasons as to what is causing this anxiety and depression is the reality of an uncertain future. Because, believe it or not, it's hard to buy a home, start a family, and save for retirement when you owe someone tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. Not everyone is under the same circumstances or stage in life. Some people become parents and decide to stay home to raise their child. Some are juggling student loan debt while paying off their mortgage, while others are just seeking advice and help from anyone out there.
But mental health issues are also plaguing college students, and experts say they're seeing an increase in suicides.
Since the pandemic, suicides among college students is on the rise. We spoke to local college students.
In March of 2021, a survey of 2,300 college students was conducted that presented some alarming results. 1 in 14 students have experienced suicidal thoughts due to the student loan debt. The debt-to-income ratio was a huge factor to the suicidal thoughts, and 1 in 8 single women have had suicidal thoughts due to owing more than twice their income. What's even scarier to think about is that these stats only show a small fraction of the students. What if you were to ask the millions of students in debt how they felt? You can find countless stories of people who suffer mentally due to their high debt. In order to cope with this, people resort to taking antidepressants, smoking cigarettes, or anything that can ease the pain they carry with them. These are the real costs that come from raising tuition to such high levels that students don't see a way out other than death. In August 2011, a man named Jordan published a post that read, "I plan to douse myself and light myself a flame on the Capitol steps to draw attention to the dire situations of the millions of indentured, educated citizens who, like me, have no options, plus a predatory banking system coming after us. There is no political solution to this problem. I will be setting myself on fire, and the student debt debacle will hopefully come to the forefront of public consciousness." But there might be a very small light at the end of the tunnel.
Nearly 66,000 people are getting some of their student loans forgiven. Navient, one of the largest student loan servicers, will cancel $1.7 billion in private loans as part of a settlement. The company was accused of abusive lending practices and targeting students it knew would struggle to pay back those loans.
We live in a nation where people from around the world come to become the best version of themselves. For decades, a college education has long been regarded as the engine of opportunity and the gateway to a brighter future. The American dream that you want is achievable. It just so happens that throughout the years, the price you have to pay for this dream is now too high and unreasonable. Many are hoping for someone or something to help with the nation's student debt crisis. Until then, we just have to keep pushing forward and hope that some of those promises made to us can actually be fulfilled.
Does student loan forgiveness figure in your plan? Would you take executive action to achieve it?
It does figure in my plan. I've laid out in detail. For example, the legislation passed by the Democratic House calls for immediate $10,000 forgiveness of student loans. It's holding people up. They're in real trouble. They're having to make choices between paying their student loan and paying their rent, those kinds of decisions. It should be done immediately. In addition to that, as you know, I think that everything from community college straight through to doubling Pell Grants to making sure that we have access, free education for anyone making under $125,000 for 4 years of college. And there is a program that exists now under the law that forgives student loans for being able to engaging in public service. I'm going to institute that fundamental change in that so it's able to be available to everyone that in fact is engaged. It's not being very well managed right now. So I'm going to do all of those things.